Well, so here we are. This is the second take. And sometimes you just have to like step away. So that's what we're going to talk about today. This was day 22 of 100. So I filmed this video already, but I tried to go super quick because my computer was dying. I left my charger at the shop. So I tried to hurry up, get it done, get it published, and it was like had 5 minutes left to upload and the computer died. I checked YouTube, it didn't go through, so we're gonna reshoot real quick. And maybe it's for the best because I could talk about a story I read today. Of course, while scrolling Facebook, it was a post from Mike Rowe, which he was on TV for something. Was it? I don't know if it's American Pickers or like a home remodeling show or something like that. And he said that he's a really good storyteller. So it was a really good read. And he was in some big city, took an Uber, didn't like the Uber, was out in Oklahoma and needed to get to the airport, so he took a Lyft this time. The guy that picked him up was like in his 60s, older guy, was an old beat up truck, work truck, had wood in there, tools all in it, and he's picking this guy up, taking him to the airport. And kind of short, witty, like his speaking, right? And so they're just kind of conversating back and forth, and the driver kind of, hey man, you in a hurry? He's like, no, I'm good, man. We're not in a hurry. He's like, okay, we're gonna take this route here. And they're kind of talking, and Mike asked the driver, he's like, hey, what do you do? He's like, yeah, I'm a carpenter. He's they kind of go back and forth. He's like, yeah, I got into it when I was younger. He's like, I've been doing it for so long now. He's like, I ended up building cabinets for rich people, made a lot of money, and so he's like, well, are you retired and now you just drive for a Lyft? And he's like, no. He's like, I still work. I have a shop, and after I made my money, he's like, I decided I like to build campers. So he builds these teardrop campers, and he's like, I build everything handmade. It's custom. It's one of one. Like, it's just, these are your options. He just knocks them out, and just what he enjoys, and then sells them. And Mike had kind of went back and forth and asked me, he's like, well, then why are you driving for Lyft if if you're good and you got this other business? He said, man, because I got frustrated. And he said, I don't like to work when I'm frustrated. He said, I just walk away. I take a step back, gather myself up, and then I'll go back and I'll work. And he said, I like to drive. He said, so I'm going to drive. I might as well make a couple bucks while I'm doing it. And he said, hey, I get to talk to some interesting people. And so they're getting up to the airport, and he's getting ready to drop them off. And he says, hey, who are you flying with? He's like, well, I'm flying with, like X airline. He's like, okay, well, hey, you don't want to go here. You're going to have to walk all the way through the airport. He's like, let me drive you up. And Mike asked the driver, he's like, hey, do you have a website or anything? He's like, I got a few followers. He said, they follow me online for whatever reason. And the guy was like, yeah, it's, was it like Mike's Pretty Good Campers or John's Pretty Good Campers or something? And then the driver's like, hey man, he's like, man, you look kind of familiar. He's like, yeah. He's like, I don't know. He's like, I get that a lot, And so he goes on his flight, and Mike said he goes to look it up, and sure enough, like that's the guy's website is his name, Pretty Good Campers. And so I guess the whole moral of the story is like today I wasn't as productive. I just felt in a slump again, man. It's like it's just up and it's down. And like my to-do list, I got 4 of the 7 things done. But I'm looking at it, I'm like, man, a few of those things, like some of them are really not the like top priority. Like they're just there, And then I guess it's like the shop it's a roller coaster, kind of a down day. We didn't sell any supplements. Drinks did okay. And so it's just kind of like, man, you just kind of get tired of working on it. Like, it's just like, so I like the story. It's kind of like, hey, you know what? Like, I was thinking about it after I went and did a quick workout tonight. I'm thinking about like, you know what? Like, it's okay, like to take a step back from focusing on this. Like, you're focusing on it so much, trying, like take a step back. And so actually I have a rank and rent site that I had built that like ranks in the top 20, but I did very little with it, and I was very lazy. I just kind of half-assed it. And there's like one thing I could do is just add content to the homepage, because that's what the other sites have that are ranking. So I was like, you know what, let me just do that and see what happens. So I'll work on that. I'll get that done. So I spun up some content, AI content, threw it on the site, and we'll get the site crawled, and we'll see what happens. If we can improve the rankings and get a little bit closer to the top, and maybe even get a few leads, I could sell the leads and make a little bit of money. But also, like, hey, if I'm going to do the agency, I need to have a few case studies, and this one's pretty much on the cusp with very little work. So that would be a good one to have, you know. So it's like, okay, let me kind of do that, and I guess at the end of the day, I need to focus on like what's going to get me to revenue quicker, or enough revenue, I guess, to help cover the bills, right? So it kind of goes against yesterday with the focus, but it's you know, got to do something different, because what I'm doing right now is just not working. On another note, a CEO from a popular supplement brand, he followed me on Twitter last night. I actually need to write him, which is pretty cool. Like, he just looks like he just joined Twitter, and I followed him, so he's just following a few people. I do have like my 2 shops, like outside signs as like my cover photo. But so that was pretty cool. So actually I want to write him back to say, hey, thanks for the follow, and you know, got a brick and mortar, sell your stuff, going online, and I need to just get the kahunas to just say, hey man, you ever do any podcast, and see if he wants to come on my podcast. But I don't have a podcast, right? I've been thinking about starting one for years, but based on like the idea Buddy gave me yesterday, it's like I could do like a behind the scenes, behind the brand or whatever, and man, if I could land him out the gate, like, that would just give me so much credibility to land other ones or smaller ones, because they would say, shit, this, you know, this guy did it, like, it's got to be legit. But then I need to get my stuff set up and figure that out, and figure out what I would say. And I like the business and marketing side of it, but for this specific podcast, it wouldn't make sense to do that. It would just need to be about the brand, about him, products, new products, like drops, like lines, just processes there. So I would need to just keep myself focused and reeled in. But hey, if I got this one done, I could get that going. But then again, right, it's another thing, right? It's not gonna probably lead to revenue right away. It's gonna be a more long-term project. You know, and then maybe I would love to have like a business podcast, right? So it's like, but again, it's like all these different things, so it's got to focus. So I don't know, I'm just scatterbrained, I'm everywhere. But the moral of today was just like, you know what, it's okay to take a step back. I did not want to work out today, but I did. Just went and did a few sets of bench and a few sets of tricep press downs. Got a nice little pump, feels good. I did not want to sit down and record this video today, but I had to get day 22 done. And so we're going to wrap 22 here. And all I know is that tomorrow I'm going to wake up, and no matter what, I'm going to get day 23 done. And try to get this stuff figured out. Get a to-do list of needle moving tasks, right? So revenue driving task. That's kind of the goal where I need to be focused the rest of this week. So we'll see how it goes. We'll see you tomorrow. If anybody watches, appreciate you.